Hello everyone. This video presents a notable event that happened on each day from the past week in history. On January 7th, 1948, a Kentucky National Guard pilot, a World War II veteran, attempted to intercept a UFO along with 3 other U.S. F-51 Mustang fighters. Multiple reports from Ohio and Kentucky said a huge, round, white object was up there and needed to be investigated. 3 of the Mustangs finally turned back, but one unfortunate pilot kept going up and up until he lost control of his fighter, which crashed, killing the pilot. Are these reports of supposedly extraterrestrial flying objects real? We have 17 previous articles on the subject, and the U.S. Air Force took the subject seriously enough to commission Project Blue Book. Even more intriguing was a promise in late 2022 that the U.S. Department of Defense would soon release a report on UFO encounters. On January 8, 1835, President Andrew Jackson saw fit to celebrate the rarest of events in American history, the only time the U.S. has ever had a zero balance for a national debt. This rare and wonderful situation lasted until 1837, never to be seen again. Today we routinely talk about our national debt, which is about $31.5 trillion at this time. Our spending for fiscal year 2023 has exceeded our tax revenues by about $336 billion, adding that amount to our national debt. The last time the U.S. had a balanced budget, where spending did not exceed revenues, was during 1998 to 2001, when Bill Clinton was president. Oddly enough, even during a budget surplus, the U.S. national debt still grew. Will we ever balance our budget again? Most observers say no. On January 9, 1861, the state of Mississippi seceded from the United States of America, the second of the slaveholding states to do so. The states that seceded and formed the Confederate States of America included South Carolina, Mississippi, Florida, Alabama, Georgia, Louisiana, Texas, Virginia, Arkansas, Tennessee, and North Carolina. Slaveholding states that chose not to secede were Maryland and Delaware. 2 other states were split between those that wanted to secede and those that remained loyal to the Union and actually belonged to both sides during the American Civil War, namely Kentucky and Missouri. The Missouri state legislature voted to not secede, but enough Missourians sent delegates to the Confederacy to claim membership, while Kentucky was technically a neutral state within the Union, but a plurality of counties in Kentucky voted for secession. On January 10, 1927, Fritz Lang's classic film Metropolis was released in Germany. This iconic film, made during the silent film era, cost the modern equivalent of 21 million euros and is considered to be among the greatest films ever made. Oddly enough, Orson Welles, creator of another candidate for greatest movie, Citizen Kane, called Metropolis silly. Some of the other films others have called the greatest include Gone with the Wind, The Wizard of Oz, Vertigo, Jaws, The Seventh Samurai, The Godfather, Battleship Potemkin, and 2001: A Space Odyssey. Obviously, criteria such as biggest box office take, most people who have seen it, opinion polls, and critical reviews can all be used to determine the so-called greatest movie. Which film do you place at the top of the list? On January 11, 1569, the first documented example of a lottery in England took place. Although 1569 seems like a long time ago, lotteries actually go back much, much farther. The first evidence of any sort of government-run lottery for money game takes us back to the Chinese Han Dynasty somewhere between 205 and 187 BC. This money-raising scheme was for the purpose of financing public works, including the Great Wall of China. Lotteries first showed up in Europe in the Roman Empire, first in private parties, and later under Emperor Augustus as a government function. Lotteries continued throughout European history and arrived in America with European colonization. American lotteries can date back to 1612 in Virginia, with a lottery authorized by King James I. Should the identity of lottery winners be made public? On January 12, 2005, The American Space Exploration Agency, known as NASA, launched a mission called Deep Impact, a probe designed to violently impact the comet Tempel 1. The goal of the Deep Impact project was to have an impactor strike the comet hard enough to dislodge material from the comet's core for NASA scientists to study the material that makes up the core. On July 4, 2005, the impactor performed as designed and struck the comet a mighty blow, leaving a crater and dislodging core material. Analysis of the dislodged material revealed a greater concentration of space dust and less icy material than suspected. The main spacecraft part of Deep Impact continued on to explore space until contact with the spacecraft was lost in August of 2013. On January 13, 2022, the National Shooting Sports Foundation warned American firearms enthusiasts of an online scam targeting those looking to buy a new firearm. Firearms are big business in the United States, with nearly 400 million guns owned by private citizens. In a set of statistics that might just surprise you, the most popular single type of rifle in the U.S. is the M16 AR-15 family of weapons, with a total civilian ownership of between 20 million and 44 million, depending on the source. When other military-looking types of guns are included in the erroneous but blanket description of assault weapons, such as the AK-47 family of guns, M1 carbines, and the like, a staggering number of such weapons reside in private American homes. About 2.7 million such firearms are sold to American citizens each year. As a question for my students and subscribers, which event from this past week in history would you most like to learn more about? Please let me know in the comment section below this video. If you liked this video and would like to receive notification of new videos, please feel welcome to subscribe to History and Headlines and become one of our patrons. Your viewership is much appreciated. For image, audio, and other credits and attributions for components of the individual videos in this compilation, please see the descriptions of their respective videos, which are linked to in this video's description.